Are we live?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Just Press X podcast. We are here at the end of the year to discuss all sorts of, like favorites and best ofs and all sorts of shit this year. Yeah, I'm King Conan.
Naked
We've got
Hobo.
Naked Hobo. There you go.
McAaron.
Naked Gorilla back again.
Gorilla, that sounds like a dog.
I don't know why he did
Sorry, dog.
He's hype. All right.
Get hype, bro.
Today
Final one of the
is,
year. Let's go.
Final podcast of the year in the middle of the week with we're going to talk about our 2020 favorite games, our least favorite games, and honorable mentions in both categories. We will let
right there.
Huh?
You said it. Never mind. It's fine.
We will go ahead and kick it off. Who wants to go first? And we will start with the good.
Oh, you know I do.
Start with the good. We will start
real
with the
quick
good.
though, do we want one person to do all three, or do we want to
No,
do
let's
a
go in circles.
turn
Let's
base?
go in circles. So
One at a time?
Yeah, so we'll start with you, Conan.
I have to limit this
and then
to
we'll go
three?
clockwise. And then we'll do it 3 times. So we'll do 3 goods, 3 bads, and then we'll do honorable
I think
mentions.
if you share one, like if you and I both say the same thing, you can go to like 4th down the list when it's your turn.
Yeah.
Or 5th, right?
Or if you don't have any more, you can bow out and say, okay, I only had like 3 or 2 games this year that I really truly liked. Somebody else can add one to the list, okay? We'll go ahead and start with Conan, and then here's the ground rules. Ground rules, all right? We typically don't. You got to explain what made that game your favorite. And it doesn't have to be like a known criteria. You can say, you know what? I love this character in this game, and that is why I really, truly enjoyed that game this year. And it can be an obtuse. It's all opinions. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Also,
But if your opinion's wrong, I'm going to say fuck you.
I was going to say you're also entitled to be wrong, but let's go.
Okay, so first on my list, something I was simping for a few weeks ago, is Hades. I think Hades was maybe my favorite game of the year, just overall. I think in terms of storytelling, gameplay, progression, systems, I think Hades was an absolute fantastic game. From the first run through I did, where I was acquiring new abilities, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" Okay, I didn't I wasn't expecting so much depth, like right at the front. Like, okay, here's all these new abilities, and then you can upgrade them during your run and things like that, and then you get introduced to more characters as you're going. You meet Hades, you meet Cerberus, you meet Nyx, you meet oh god, what was the skeleton character? Skelly, Medusa, Dusa. There's so many fantastic characters throughout that game. Like, there's not one character I dislike other than Theseus, and it's just because of how Theseus is written. It's not like he's written to be unlikable.
I was gonna say that was the nature of the character, right? So
yeah, exactly. So like top down, I think that game, writing wise, gameplay wise, is remarkable. I think it's the best roguelike game that's ever been made so far. I have not played them all, however, but out of all of the ones I have played, Dead Cells was my previous favorite, and this has taken that crown pretty firmly. I think Hades is an absolutely incredible game, and would probably be if I was to rank all my favorite games.
Well, hold on, we're not ranking. We're just saying like your top
exactly.
3.
I was.
Hades was number 1.
Yeah, like
if I would probably say this would be game of the year, in my opinion.
We're not saying top 3s like this is the best.
Well, your opinion's wrong.
Well, I mean, you could do it if you wanted to, but like in my case, I have 3 games that I like them all, and I would say they're all about even for me. But go ahead, Conan. Sorry.
Well, that's about. I mean, most of what I was going to say on it. Feel free to chime in your thoughts. I know some of you guys played Hades as well.
I agree with everything you said, and just the ability of how they brought the story out through playing, not instead of playing, but while playing, was amazing. Just how they decided to tell the story was so different, and so it made me want to die more. Let's just put it that way. I didn't mind dying, and just how the you kept improving your character. It just there's nothing wrong with that game in any way, other than I wish there were more levels. Which, if that's your only complaint, I'd say you got a winner.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're gonna drop some DLC. I mean, I got that game since last year because of Conan. Like I had the pre-alpha or the pre-early release version of it, and I had played it, but not nearly as much as I played it now. And yeah, that game is just there's very little. See, this is that's one of the few games that I could say is an early release success story, where it started. I think this game started with the Kickstarter campaign, right?
It might have.
Yeah, so I think it started with as a Kickstarter. I may be wrong, but I believe so. Then
Jamie, you want to pull that up?
so let me look.
Nope.
No, it didn't.
No.
Then it must have just been an early release on Steam. But it's one of the few games that definitely was delivered on a lot of the promises that they gave. And they took a lot of the feedback from the early release and incorporated that into the final build of the game. And I do hope that the developer keeps adding more content. Because, I agree with Aaron. Once you finish it and once you have, like, this kick-ass character, it happens with all roguelikes, right? It gets to a point where you're just a beast and you're just one-shotting everything. And then it's like, okay, well, time to try a different build. Maybe they add more levels. I just don't know how they do it narratively unless,
Easily. I mean, if I were doing a DLC, it was attack Zeus, go up Mount Olympus.
Yeah,
That's the next stage.
Attack of the Gods, like God of War, right? All right.
That or a sequel.
Yeah, or a complete sequel. Yeah.
Just something I didn't even mention too was I thought the art and the music in that game were phenomenal as well. The style of art, the drawing in that, like each character had its various poses and positions and pictures. I thought they were all spectacularly drawn. Each character was really unique. They had their own color theme. There was just so much to like with that visual style. It was very pleasing to the eye. I really enjoyed the art. And then the music. Like, the music straight up sounded like a Tool album sometimes, which was awesome. Like some sort of, Greek-themed Tool album. It was really, really neat. I just think across the board, I don't see a spot in that game where you could say this game is lower than an A at any point in that game.
No, I mean, the only thing that's lacking is they need to support more ports. I mean, right now they only have the PC and the Switch.
True.
Like, it would be awesome for them to bring it over to the PS5 with the haptic controller, because now that I've actually started using. Now that I've actually used a PS5 haptic controller, I'm like, God damn, this thing is good.
Told you.
Like legit. I was just like, when I was playing, I started playing, and that'll lead me into my game, my first game of it.
Go for it.
I started playing several games on the PlayStation 5, and I instantly was thinking, wow, like, if you could add the haptic feedback to some of the other games that have come out, it would make it amazing. Because, like, even the Astro's Playroom, where you're just trying to go through those very simple puzzles and use the all the features of the controller, it makes quite a difference, especially since I've played with the Series X and then now I've played with the PS5. Or Bugsnax, another one that has cleverly hidden the features of the controller within the gameplay loop, are insane. So That being said, my game, it hasn't been released, but I think one of my favorite games this year was Phasmophobia, because it was such a unique experience in terms of I had never played anything like that before. Um, I am a true like horror fan, and like those kind of situations, like stressful situations, had me geeking out. We played that for like a month straight, almost every night.
Yeah, we
And
did.
Fuck that.
and this just goes to prove that you do not need a massive AAA studio to develop a quality game with a quality gameplay loop. That is fun. You do not need to have the best graphics out there. All you need is a creative idea with creative sound design, because that is where the magic of this game lies, is the sound design. Being able to hear those whispers is what sets the mood in that game, where you psych yourself out more than the actual monsters. Because once you actually look at the ghosts themselves, they're kind of silly looking. They're not very scary, but the ambiance
Speak
of
for yourself, dude.
the ambiance of the actual game itself, if you're immersed in it, and the audio, the way that they use the little subtle whispers or the subtle little as you're walking by, or your character's heartbeat as it's accelerating within as you're physically scared. Now, when I was playing with the PS5, I'm thinking to myself, imagine, dude, if to hold the flashlight on the PS5 or even on Steam with the haptic controller, and you have to hold it all the way down, but as you're letting go, the light starts to flicker because it has the adaptive trigger. So like you're holding R2 to hold the flashlight. Dude, that would be the sickest thing, dude. People would be freaking out. My flashlight, my flashlight. Like, those are kind of the things that I was like, man, if more games could take advantage of this type of controller. But yeah, that was definitely the gem for me this year. It was like this little game that became. There was a lot of games this year that were unknown and became sensations thanks to Twitch. This is another one of those. And they're developing it, they're releasing more maps, and I am excited to keep playing this until it becomes a full release.
It's not the size of the game studio, but the motion of the gameplay.
Correct.
Sad.
Okay, actually, leaning into
go
that,
on.
as much as I fucking hated playing it, that's actually on my list.
Oh, it's on one of my lists too.
Eat a dick, Aaron. Anyways, yeah, it was really fucking fun to play. I mean, the first week, if a game can make you feel like that in the first place, that's how you know they're doing something right. Maybe it's just because I didn't have a lot of horror experience, but just playing it, dude, like, I was full on fucking sweating playing this shit. And meanwhile, you guys are like, hey, go in and say his name. And I'm trying to big dick this shit. I was like, ah, fuck this fucking video game. Then this motherfucker whispers in my ear, dude, and I'm fucking wigging out. I'm like, fuck this, it's not a game. This is real fucking life. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Started saging my own room.
Yeah,
If a game can make you do that.
dude, you go from a fucking man to wimp and puss in like the quickest like
Fucking seconds, dude.
All it takes is a and you're like, oh shit, and the next thing you know
Yeah.
is you're running to the restroom, turning off the lights, hiding in the corner.
Mhm. And I mean, yeah, I mean these fuckers, they all got my clip that they fucking love watching every now and then. Shit's still gonna be a thing
so
in fucking
good.
4
Oh, the
years
first time
from
you
now.
drank alcohol?
What was that?
Dude, let's not fucking talk about that. I'm still 20. I've never drank alcohol. Anyways, yeah. If a game can make you feel like that, it's on my list. It was a good game.
It was, yeah.
Another one I wanted to bring up that was my favorite. I mean, maybe not my favorite, but once again, one of them is
you skipped
actually
Aaron.
Warzone.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought we
Warzone
were
was
just
good.
bouncing.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Warzone was
that's
great.
fine. That was going to be on my list.
That was on my list.
Yeah,
too. That was on my
Warzone.
list too.
It's just like Phasmo with me, dude. I fucking hated it in the beginning. Oh my god, I hated it. I just wasn't used to the BR. I felt like I was getting shot from everywhere. I remember one time I tried to fucking crouch under this fucking gate because I thought it would be a thing like normal BRs. It wasn't. I got shot. I got pissed. Anyways, but it was fucking good. The reason I do like it, the guns feel so fucking crisp.
Yeah. So
good.
that was one of the things that I said was gonna happen. I said, what is gonna happen when we have a team or a development studio that actually works on shooters develop their first BR? They are going to polish the formula, and they're going to take everything that makes a BR good and make it better. And that's exactly what happened here. I think right now, the premier BR out right now is Warzone. Even with all the issues that they have right now with cheating and everything, the DMR zone right now is the best game out there. We need to go into the DMR zone.
So Warzone just missed my, I'll say, top 10 because I wrote a lot of them because of all the cheating. And it just ruins a lot of the gameplay. But had it not been for a lot of cheating, it probably would have been top 5 for me as well. Because we had a lot of fun and it was enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. So speaking of the cheating, reports came out today that nothing has been announced by Activision or Infinity Ward or in this case Treyarch, but apparently they have implemented some sort of system in the back end where they're taking players that are consistently being reported as cheating and they're sticking them in cheater lobbies. So Nick Merckx, Tim the Tapman,
poor guy.
all those guys.
Oh, no.
All those guys have been consistently getting thrown in cheater lobbies because just trolly people like always report them anyway. So yeah, so there's like the whole shadow ban, shadow punishment kind of thing is going on. The developers haven't said anything about it, but it is happening, and they have.
How do you do that to your top streamers? Unless they're actually cheating.
Well,
like,
unintentionally.
No, you do it unintentionally because...
How do you unintentionally do that to your top streamers?
Because the system is based off of the
make
reports.
them so much money. You should have a way of... I'm not saying perfect from a positive, but remove the negative from that. Sorry.
The system doesn't care. I'm pretty sure all they did is like, hey, if you have X amount of reports for cheating.
Yeah, they need a whitelist, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll add that like after the fact. It probably would have been good to implement that like beforehand. But like I could definitely see them doing that like after the fact. Getting some of the bigger names on that whitelist.
But the fact that these people are complaining about it is showing that it's working.
Mm-hmm.
And that they have stats behind it to prove that they have. Because the way they proved it apparently is one of the guys, I don't know who, played a game with his main account, and then he noted he didn't play one game, he played an X amount of games, and noted the amount of cheaters that he ran into or suspected cheaters, because you can't prove anything, but whatever.
Sometimes you can.
Well, most of the Warzone cheaters have gotten in their skill level, in the skill gap, because there is definitely skill-based matchmaking. In the skill level that these guys are playing at, they don't need aimbot. They already have pretty good natural aim. They need walls. That's what they want, is the walls.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them map awareness. It allows them to know when to push, when to flank, etc. So to prove that you're using walls is a lot more difficult than it is to prove that you're aimbotting. Aimbotting is really easy. On the kill cam, you'll tell because the guy won't miss a single headshot. Whereas the aimbot, the guy could still have potato aim. He just knows when to push you, when you're looking the other way, when you're reloading, whatever. So they had X amount of games. Then he joined somebody else's account who's not a streamer but has around the same skill level as he did from his Discord. And obviously the guy has not gotten as many reports, whether they're valid or not. And he tried, and yeah, the number of suspected cheaters was significantly lower in that lobby.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, good. Do something.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with that game is cheaters. 100%. Like the gameplay when it is cooking and you're like having fun, it is hard to match. It's so fucking fun. Like when you're on. Yeah, exactly. But we all the time had so many games where we're just like, that guy was just blatantly cheating. Like, and it was, if not every game, every other game, it felt like. Well, dude, the amount of people they had banned at one point, it was like 1 out of every 100 people in their entire population was a cheater, just based on what they had banned. That didn't even include what they hadn't banned yet.
Remember when we were hopping on every night and we'd have the report?
Yeah,
I
it was every night
yeah.
we'd get those reported
I think every
cheater
night
thing.
for like a couple weeks, I would hop on and I'd have the banner, "Hey, thank you, reported player was banned." And it's like, well, shit.
Yeah. But like
Yeah,
when it comes to the gameplay, and like I think what Eric was saying was the gunplay is so crisp compared to other BRs. Like it doesn't have the stupid bloom like Fortnite does. It's like where your bullets are, like where you're aiming is where your bullets are going to go. And like it doesn't feel like PUBG where you feel super floaty and a little out of control sometimes. It is really tight, feels really good, is fast paced. Yeah, I definitely would consider it to be one of the games of the year. I know it was released like alongside Modern Warfare, but Warzone is its own title and really deserves the credit for what it's achieved so far.
That being said, what was I gonna say? That being said, Cold War just came out. You and I purchased it last week. We've been playing it. The new guns, apparently, now that they've been out since the 16th, people have started to figure out some of the meta. The DMR and the MAC-10 are currently absolutely wrecking the Warzone meta. I'm actually anxious to play it. I want to play it, but I need to level up those guns because obviously now I know that you can't go in there without anything but the DMR and the MAC-10.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to mine.
Go ahead,
you're on.
No, you're on. Go.
Miles Morales.
Oh, let's go, baby! The one I've been
Nice.
trying to play.
So this game takes all the annoying parts of the first Spider-Man and says, let's just not do that. Then adds a way better soundtrack and a way more exciting main character. Don't get me wrong, Peter Parker's great, but he's the most vanilla, boring person there is. And you take Miles Morales, he's got a lot going on for him. He is just awesome. And the story, a lot of people didn't really like the story. I thought the story was great. I thought it was a lot of fun, enjoyable, and great acting. Fantastic soundtrack, up there with Hades, but in a completely different way. I can't beat that, so take it away. That is phenomenal.
So
Hold on.
Nolan has been Nolan has been playing Spider-Man. So we for Christmas he got his PS5 and he's been playing it. And he actually opted to go ahead and play the Spider-Man first, then he's gonna move over to Miles Morales. He's about halfway through it. I gotta say though, did you play the facelifted Spider-Man?
No.
Okay. All right. That's why you're kind of hating on it right now.
I'm not hating on it at all. Spider-Man original one was one of my games of the year.
Yeah.
But there are some missions that were kind of boring, and some of the challenges were kind of hard. I sucked at flying through the air on some of those challenges where you had to go through the circles and whatnot. And then the stealth missions were really boring and dumb. They got rid of a lot. They streamlined a lot of it. Miles Morales' superpowers are just more exciting. The game is so much faster, which of course that's because of the PS5. And it's just, honestly, I loved every second of it.
Yeah, it's a shorter game too. I think it's only like
way shorter.
It's like an 8 to 10 hour playthrough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Nolan has been playing the remake of the original, and I've been helping him here and there, and. Yeah, dude. It honestly feels like that game was meant to be played on a PS5. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's the city is more populous. The web slinging feels more natural and fast. You could actually almost feel the speed of Spider-Man flowing through the buildings.
Yep.
When he starts playing Miles, I'll take a look at that one too, more carefully. He'll probably need a little bit more hand-holding, especially since, like, Spider-Man, he's already beaten it. Like, this will be his 5th or 6th time beating it.
Oh, God.
Nice.
Believe it or not, though, he really enjoyed Bugsnax, which he wanted me to tell you guys that his top game of the year was Fortnite, but his second one...
What a pussy.
His second one is Bugsnax.
I tried it for about 10 minutes. It's not my kind of game, but I totally understand. Kids gotta love that game.
Yeah, and
It's
he's already
childish and funny.
He's already finished it 3
Wow.
times. 3 times.
Wow.
And I think he's like 2 trophies away from getting the platinum. Yeah.
Wow.
No way! Wow, that's awesome.
Like he
Yeah,
sat
my
there.
kids haven't touched anything.
He sat there and he played it on Christmas Day. He woke me up at 6:30 in the morning to install it. He had watched some like YouTube video, and he's like, I really want to play that game. Like that was the game for him. Like I was like, oh dude, you're gonna get Spider-Man. He's like, I wanted to play Bugsnax. Well, so he did his first playthrough and he got the crappy ending, and then he's like, Dad, I finished it, but it wasn't the very good ending. And I was like, oh, okay. And he already knew that there's different endings. He tells me, he's like, well, in order for me to get the okay ending, I need to like solve all this. I'm going to do that next. So then he did that. But once you finish the game, you have to delete or start over basically if you want to get the better ending. So he did another save and got the better ending. Then he did after that, he did the last playthrough and he got all the Bugsnax, like all of them.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So PS5 so far, telling you from a I have them both kind of situation, I think is winning the current gen.
Yeah.
It's been, dude. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm more in the Sony scene. I haven't heard shit about the Series X, dude.
Because what are you going to hear about it? It's just a better
That's
version
exactly-
of the Xbox with no exclusive games.
It has-
And
that's-
you know what?
That is what's
All three.
killing it right
Hey,
now.
Cyberpunk right now.
We'll get to Cyberpunk. All right. Aaron, so what was your Spider-Man Miles Morales? All right, Conan, you want to take it off with the next one on your list?
Yeah, so this game, and I'm breaking the fucking rules. I'm doing it, okay? This game
I
came
like
out
it.
last year, but it came out on PC this year.
Oh,
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Yep.
Holy shit.
that was
game
on my
is... That's one of my favorite games of the last, 5-6 years, maybe even longer. Like, I absolutely loved my playthrough of Death Stranding. It was something I was really unsure about from watching gameplay, and I was like, man, I don't know how engaged I would be, just running from place to place, carrying packages and stuff like that. But man, once you jump in it and you're like, oh shit, yeah, okay, I have to be on top of how I'm moving on top of this terrain. And then you begin that journey through gameplay and your upgrades throughout, and you're all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I can steal this vehicle from these bad dudes and load this vehicle up and drive this a bunch and build roads and all these great things, right? Eventually you end up upgrading and getting these crazy zip lines, and you're zip lining literally across the entire map from spot to spot to spot, and it's super fun.
the community aspect of that, where you can use other people's zip lines, is amazing, dude. So
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, you don't actually have to build all the stuff yourself, all the infrastructure. You can just piggyback off of other people's builds too, which is great.
Mm-hmm. And throw likes their way for builds and things like that, which was really neat. Like a new system. I can't think of another game that has a system like that. But I think what really struck with me was the story, and Sam's connection with the baby. Why am I drawing a blank on the name right now?
I don't know.
It's literally called the BB unit.
BB.
Grogu.
Yes,
Grogu.
thank you. The BB unit.
Yeah.
And man, I was just blown away. It was really compelling. I thought the actors were great. It's funny too, because Norman Reedus, I think, was up for best actor last year in a video game, and or voice actor, whatever it is.
Didn't he win?
Did he?
I don't know. It was his last year's.
Let me check.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
remember.
about 365 days ago. I'm not too sure.
Gary, you can find that out.
But yeah,
Jamie.
it was he barely even is necessarily in it. He's the main focus, but he isn't the main performer. It doesn't feel like it's an ensemble cast.
So Death Stranding won it, but he didn't win it. Mads Mikkelsen won it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So Mads Mikkelsen and Norman Reedus were both up for best performance in a video game, which makes 100% sense because they were both in that video game and they were both amazing. Mads must have won it. It must have been close because Mads won it. Although I think maybe Reedus should have taken it because Matt's part and now playing the game, it's a lot smaller. But he was in the trailers. He was portrayed.
So is Abby's versus who's her face, and so is Abby versus Ellie in Last of Us 2, and Abby won that.
Yeah. So, but I think the reason maybe he won it was because he was like more of like the trailer, the front face. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I could have gone either way.
Death Stranding like destroy at the video game awards?
They did. Year? They won so many awards last year because it's that good.
That fucking goes to show.
But now that it's on PC, I'm okay with it. Like I'm gonna talk after Conan's because that was on my top 3 as well.
Yeah, I connected with it at such a like deep emotional level too. I think with especially like I was saying the connection with the BB unit and everything, and being a dad. I am such a sucker for dad things, by the way. Like watching Wonder Woman 84 the other night, I was like bawling at the end. Like I'm a sucker for it. Yeah, I know, Aaron. I know. But it really resonated with me. I thought all the characters were written really well, acted really well. They had some cool celebrity appearances, like Conan O'Brien was in it. Yeah, there
now
was,
Johnny Silverhand's in it now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So there was this like really cool kind of meta thing going on with Death Stranding as well. So yeah, I would have to say that was the most emotional playthrough I've had this year. That's for sure.
Well, yeah. So like when that game came out, Conan and I think got it around the same time, and we were both playing it around the same time. So it was great because we could talk about our experience, but still not be in Discord because I remember we were both like, yeah, I want to listen to everything, so I'm not gonna be on Discord to talk about it because I want to pay attention to like this cinematic walkthrough, right? The game was just so different to what I had built my expectation around, if that makes sense. So I had read a lot of reviews where they're like, oh my God, this is FedEx Simulator and UPS Simulator. You're just delivering packages from A to B. But at the core loop, yes, that is what you're doing. That being said, that is not all that goes into that game. That game has like the community aspect where there was this one day where I played and all I did was build roads. Like collect materials and build roads. That's all I did. And I was like, well, it's not progressing me in the storyline, but later on when I'm playing, it will help a lot. And yeah, later on when I actually started playing the game and advancing the main quest, having spent that one day building all those roads made my life and my travel time so much easier and faster. And then I also sat in a bunch of likes from the community of all the people that were in my server, because Conan and I were not part of the same server, which is weird. But there was like I logged in one day and it's like, ding, you received like 3,000 likes from all these random people that used your road. And it was really cool. Like that was cool. And then you're driving through your road and people can leave you messages as like the like a form of like a hologram. And like there was all these people that are like, oh my God, I didn't have enough materials to finish building this segment of the road. Thanks for finishing it up for me. And because people will, if they can't, they finish to complete, they'll just deposit as much as they have, and then somebody else can go in there and top it off and finish building the road. And it's shared.
Can you turn that functionality off in that game?
You can.
Just curious.
You can. Okay. If you want to play by yourself, I don't know why you would want to.
You want to be a puss about it.
I don't know why you would want. I honestly don't know why you would want to turn that off, because it actually makes the game harder for you. Because in like the later stages of the game, roads are not going to be a thing. What's going to be a thing is like what Conan was saying. You're going to be zipping because you're like in the mountains up in the top. And then there's like this one section where you're like in the coast and there's a whole bunch of like the poisonous river or like oceans. And your main source of travel at that point is going to be either like your car or you're going to use those zips. And the zips is like the fastest way to go around.
Cool.
Yeah, that game got a lot of grief when it came out, but
Did it really? I heard nothing but praise
did.
for it, other
No.
than the fact that it was
A lot of
not.
mixed.
it was very it was very black or white. Like you either liked it
Oh, so it
or
was Breath of the Wild.
yeah, it was like that. It was black or white. You either liked
Yeah.
it or you didn't. Like it's because Kojima is an acquired taste, in my opinion. He really
100%.
is. Like if you don't like to sit there and look at a 45-minute cutscene, which is a high possibility, you're in for a long day. Because even Death Stranding had some cutscenes that were insanely long, but required for the narrative of the game.
Looks cool though.
Oh,
Yeah, and
dude,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
one of
I
the
can't
most
dive
beautiful
into
games.
it.
The thing that came out of it, like you were talking about the mixed reviews, just I think one of the best things about that game was the memes that came out of it.
The memes.
Fucking flawless, dude.
Like, dude,
fucking-
so like the funny part is like a lot of the actors that came out in that show are directors, movie directors that Kojima admires. So like Guillermo del Toro's in there. What's his name? The guy that did Drive. I'm trying to remember his name. Nicolas Winding Refn. He also directed one of like my favorite movies of all time, Drive.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So
Have you guys seen his movie before that, Valhalla?
yeah, with Mads Mikkelsen, dude.
Super trippy with Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah,
It was. I actually fell asleep the first time watching it because like
slow as shit.
it's so slow. Yeah, but did you see his latest one where like
Neon?
Neon Demons or
Not yet.
It's good. It's good. He makes those weird, like artsy, very artsy movies. But like a lot of the characters in there, even like Matt. That speaking of Nicholas Winding Refn's character in that game, that character had probably one of the saddest storylines in the whole game.
Big time.
Like,
Big time,
like
man.
I remember watching that and like finishing out his part, like his part of the quest, and like I was choking up, like at the end. That game made me choke up several times. That one and the one with the twins, or like the two girls, the two twin sisters.
Yep.
Holy shit, dude! That one. I had to pause the game after the twins and like take a break because I was like I don't know if I'm ready to keep going on this thing, and I'm not like a big emotional or like that kind of guy, but like that game brought out those types of feels.
It was a beautiful game. Beautiful.
And I understand now why they wanted to keep it under wraps, because there was a lot of secrecy around this game. Like to the point where they didn't even want to give a release date. Like they I think they announced the release date like a month before it came out, and then they're like, "Okay, guys, it's coming."
Yeah. Well, I think we're next one up? Gorilla? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Hobo could actually.
I did kind of throw a 2 in 1. So if someone else wants to go,
I
can just go
piggybacked
for my
off of
third
Death
one.
Stranding because that was gonna be one of my top 3. I only actually came up with 3.
Oh,
So
I'll-
Aaron, yeah, go
Sure.
ahead, dog. Run it.
My next one, which honestly, it was a toss up between this one and Hades for absolute game of the year, Ghost of Tsushima. It was an amazing game, made me tear up a couple times. Gameplay loop was phenomenal. The story was phenomenal. The load time on a PS4 was not there. I can't believe what they did with it. It looked just gorgeous and beautiful, and who doesn't like being a samurai? So it ticked all the boxes for what a great game it was. It really was phenomenal in every way. I just loved every part of it. So, and then they gave out free DLC, which was co-op. It was a whole bunch of new stuff, including a raid, which you guys need to buy this game on PS5 so we can all do it together.
I hope that it comes out on PS5, or eventually like a PC port to where we can all do that together. Because the raid is supposed to be like a Destiny style raid,
Yep.
and looks fucking legit.
I want to play
I'd
it.
be really into that.
I want to play it. I was tempted to buy it on the PS5. The problem is I'm like, man, if I buy it and then they release a remaster, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. It's kind of like on the same scenario I am right now with The Last of Us 2. Like I want to get it, but I also want to wait and see if they're gonna do a remaster.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what
That's
they did
fair.
with Spider-Man. I'm like stuck in a limbo, especially because like I did the upgrade. Like I looked at the upgrade thing that I was telling you guys about between like the disc version to the digital version. So The Last of Us have the disc version, The Last of Us 2. It is like to buy it new it's $59.99, but to upgrade it to a digital is $40. So I'm like, well,
Wow. Well, I played Last of Us 2. It did not make my top 5. Just FYI. But it's in my top 10.
top 10. Yeah, so it's still a really good game. You're just very, very strict.
So here's the thing of why. The only reason why Last of Us 2 didn't make it is
Hold on,
because
hold on,
it's
hold
the
on.
exact...
Save that for your fringe.
But it's... Okay,
Because
okay,
it's in your
sorry.
fringe. It's in
We'll
your
stick with
fringe.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it's in your
Ghost of
fringe.
Tsushima. It was great. Like, they have these little foxes in there that you follow to get some upgrades, and they're adorable, and you can pet them. I mean, that's just like icing on a cake of a perfect game.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
All
You're
right.
not wrong, because in Valhalla right now, there's this quest where you can end up adopting this dog and you can name it. And then, like, whenever you visit your longhouse, like, main base, you're always like, oh, hey, what? Like, I named mine Chewy. And I was like, oh, hey, Chewy. Ah, yeah. It's like always this, like, camaraderie when you're walking by it. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
That is
Yeah,
badass.
I feel you on the petting and having that like companion pet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of feels in Ghost of Tsushima. It definitely made me tear up a couple times. So
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah, I do want to play that fucking pussy. But I bought it. Yeah, I should be there soon. Should I just start off with my third game? Because I
Yeah.
already kind
Yeah,
of...
go for it.
My third, kind of memey, but just because of all the fun I had with you guys, probably Among Us, dude.
Among Us, yes.
Honestly, that game was so fucking fun.
It was
Like,
in my top of the year, not top 3 though.
We didn't play
Hey,
that
no
much. But
fringe.
the times we did play, it was so much fun, dude. I don't know how many times. We'll say we played it 10 times.
Damn, yeah, freaking Preston talking shit.
10 times. 5 out of those 10 times, I got a text from my mom saying to keep it down. So I mean, it was full of fun. Fucking, it was great. Just that game, the way it exploded. I don't know if that's cheating because it did come out last year, but
came out
dude,
2
it was
years
fucking
ago.
sick. Oh, 2 years. Fuck, dude. That game made a fucking comeback and it was worth it. That game was so fucking fun to play.
What, Among
I
Us?
love that one. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Nolan's top.
That was my
that
third.
was on Nolan's top 3 too. Among Us.
Dude, it was fun,
Like,
dude. It is
as a matter of
fun.
fact, you saw what our Christmas shirts were.
Yep.
All Among Us. We all had Among Us Christmas ugly sweaters.
And if the games
Nice.
come out and they have memes, it's on my top 10 automatically, dude. If good
Alright.
memes come out of that game, it's fucking worth it.
I'm surprised nobody has put Fall Guys. We had a lot of fun with Fall Guys.
I was gonna say Fall Guys.
It was
but
on the fringe with me. It was on the fringe.
It's on one of
Yeah,
my
that's
lists.
like honorable mention. For
Went up and went straight fucking down, dude. Within like
Well, what's
Other
every-
stuff came out.
Yeah, other stuff came out, and then the people just got too damn good at the mini games. I have a couple reasons
those guys.
why that game is not on my top 3. It's on the fringe, so I'll talk on the honorable mentions. Conan, you last
Hell
one?
Yeah, last one for me. Something I played earlier this year. Came out the same day as Animal Crossing New Horizons. So it shared a birthday. But Doom Eternal.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, I
yes,
fucking knew
yes.
I
I
Yeah.
knew you were gonna. Yeah.
Doom Eternal is so fun, dude. Like, just going through and being a complete fucking badass demon slaying motherfucker and killing everything in sight, like, is
Does that
so
give you the feels too?
fun. Oh, hell yeah, it did in a big different way, dude. It's like a big old,
Big old
stiffy
chub.
as I'm playing. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was that game is so much fun. It's just like kinetically so pleasing. Just moving and punching and shooting and constantly changing weapons and like trying to balance the ammo economy with your health economy, and like all this is all happening at the same time. Meanwhile, there might be a puzzle part of it too, and Doom Eternal is just so much fun to play. Story wise, it was like whatever, like
You're not playing.
Demons demons are coming, and we need to kill them. Which is totally fine.
Might I add, while fucking Conan was playing this game, he would not stop fucking bragging about this game to the point where I was almost gonna get it. Just because I was like, oh shit, like maybe I fucking need to.
What game?
It's
The first thing he fucking said when he started playing, he goes, "Oh, guns look cool, but this fucking music, dude, it is intense." And I was like,
Do you remember
Yeah.
what
Who
video game
said
it was
that?
Trent Reznor did all the music
I
for?
did.
Conan,
Oh yeah.
what was that, Aaron?
What video game did Trent Reznor do all the music for?
I don't know, but I know there was one where Jack Black did all the music.
Yeah, Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend. That's right.
So segueing into that, my third game
it's Quake,
that
by
I
the way.
thoroughly enjoyed this year, and it's probably gonna come out of nowhere for you guys, was the Mafia 1 remake.
Huh?
Conan was there
I
when I
remember
played the
you
shit
did
out of
play
that.
that?
Yeah,
you
I
did play
remember
that?
you were playing that.
I
Yeah.
was also there. You were fucking going through it.
So Mafia 1, when it came out, the original back in like 2004 or 2003, was like your generic GTA clone, but with an actual storyline. Now they remade it with like HD remake, and it was amazing because the storyline was still really, really good, and it had been so long since I had played it, I have forgotten. But they polished up the graphics, they polished up the gameplay, they polished up the driving. It got to the point where I was like, man, this is everything I wanted it to be and more. And I was just like left wanting more. I was like, man, I wish this game was longer. And you know a game is good when you're like, I wish this game was longer.
Yep.
Like to the point where I was like, man, maybe I'll just buy Mafia 2, because what they ended up doing is the developers started out with the most recent Mafia, which was like the Vietnam one, and then they went back and redid all the old ones. So like Mafia 2 got a facelift, and then now Mafia 1, they couldn't just give it a facelift. They essentially had to remake the whole game. So like now I'm like, man, maybe I should go back and play Mafia 2 and then Mafia 3 maybe. But I had other games came out and I didn't do it. But that being said, Mafia 1 was definitely one of my top games this year. It's an absolute steal for $20. I think that's how much it cost. And it's a short game though. You will get like, I think that if you just do the main campaign, none of the side quests, it's like a 15 to 20 hour game. But it does have.
See, that's my size of game I want nowadays. I can't do these 80-hour games anymore.
Yeah, so like
I mean, this week I can, but
yeah, so like if you do the actual just the main campaign and you speed through it, it's not very hard because it doesn't have, it's like the main core loop is like 16 years old, so it doesn't have a lot of development in terms of like your character has to level up. You can go in there and try to take on mobs all over the city since the beginning. The difference is the weapons and the vehicles that are going to be available to you. Yeah, it was great.
Nice. Fucking digging it. Aaron, that's you, dog.
my last one. So this was the one debated the most, but Astra's Playroom.
Yes, dude, it's so good.
I don't think I've ever played a game from start to end with a smile, a shit-eating grin on my face the entire time. It took you through nostalgia, PlayStation 1 through 4, and holy crap, was it just a perfect game. Not to mention it was free with your PS5.
Yes.
It showed off exactly what you can do with the DualSense controller, and it really just took you through everything that I experienced as a gamer from PlayStation 1 forward. Just amazing. Just so great.
Dude,
it is
and then
fucking fun. Dude.
It is a lot
It's
of fun.
so
And then you can go back and keep redoing all the levels so you can collect coins to buy all the collectibles.
I platinumed the game.
Yeah, no,
Hell
did too.
yeah,
Yeah, he
let
went
him
back
know.
and he was playing all the levels until he got all the stuff, basically.
Not to mention it's got speedruns stuff for people too.
Awesome.
Fucking sick, dude.
It
really
so
shows off what the
good,
fucking
dude.
PS5 can do.
It like
Yeah.
honestly,
It
dude.
shows it off.
Honestly, you could be like, oh yeah, that game's $25. Okay, yeah,
Yep, I would have bought it.
it's that good. It's really
It
good.
was fucking.
And it's free.
good.
It's so good and it's free. I wish
All you gotta do is get a PS5. So I mean, if you can,
I was thinking to myself, I'm like, why don't they just make a full-fledged release out of this, like an actual full game?
Yeah.
dude.
Well, this is their second Astrobot game. The first one was a VR game for PS4.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
like
one was pretty neat too. It's just not the same.
yeah, it's like they do it to like showcase the technical powers of whatever piece of tech you're buying.
Yep.
But I wish they would actually have a full release. I mean, because it's like 4 little worlds that have like their own little things. Yep. I wish there was more. I really do, because it's that good.
Yep.
It's just a fucking fun,
Little
chill
platformer.
back, just fucking fuck around, dude.
Dude, the
You're not in
monkey
it for the
like
sweats.
the monkey.
Oh, the
piece-
monkey was great.
The monkey is great, dude. When you're just walking around, you have to hold the rock, and you're like. We all knew the motion too.
Conan's like, you dumbasses.
It's looking great.
All right,
It's good.
Eric, you're up.
Isn't that how Donald Trump dances?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Although,
No, yeah, I mean,
although right now
I
he
think
ain't
I got
dancing,
something.
dude. He fucking couldn't get his $2,000 stimmy going. But anyhow, that's not for here.
Yeah, I think I already got my top 3. It was Phasmo, Warzone, and Among Us.
All right, cool. So we ready for the
I
fringe?
mentioned that 2 in 1.
Let's go to the fringe. Who wants to start? So we all have a lot of fringe. So let's try and keep it
This is
down
my
to
favorite fucking part of the podcast.
yeah, to like 1 or 2 fringe. 1 or 2 fringe.
You
If
know
we
the
have
Dave
one,
Chappelle skit?
if we have
Go ahead.
some shared fringe games, then we can talk Amongst Us.
Okay.
Among Us. Oh.
Among Us already made it to someone's top. I actually don't think Among Us is a fringe. Fall Guys is definitely on the fringe for me. I felt that Fall Guys was like really unique take on the BR formula with like the mini games. And I truly enjoyed it. It was a breath of fresh air when it came out. And then the streamers got a hold of it and made it uber sweaty and not fun.
However, I think
they
my
also-
favorite part of
They made
it
it
was
popular, too.
Tim the Tap Man.
Not being
That's a
able to get
highlight
a
of
dub.
the year, dude.
Yeah, not being
Highlight of the year. He
So
fucking
Fall Guys
did that, dude.
honestly was on my least favorite games of the year.
I
Really?
could get that. Yeah, I
Um,
could get that.
Why? Because you couldn't get a
Team
crown?
games. Team game. No, I got a crown. Team game stuck in that. It was to me, it shows a lack of understanding of what their game is supposed to be by throwing team games into something with a single player.
Yeah,
It just ruined it for me because
Yeah, so-
every time it popped up, I'm like,
I'm
Yeah.
done.
Damn it!
Yeah. and don't be wrong, when I say least favorite games, to me these are the ones that are the most overhyped that I didn't enjoy. Not the worst game, because it's still a pretty good game, but to me it's the most overhyped of the good games out there. No, not the
So
most.
I share that sentiment, which is why it's on the fringe for me.
Yeah.
I haven't played season 2 or season 3. From what I've read, they've minimized the amount of team games that have been available in seasons 2 and seasons 3. There's just been so much other shit to play that I haven't actually had a chance to hop on there. But that being said, this is coming from my season 1 experience, which was the longest season, and the one where they had the peak number of players. I don't even think it's cracked the top front page of Twitch in a while anymore.
I believe I saw a video you posted of someone cheating in your game too.
Yeah.
Right?
So I had the case where I ran into cheaters. I personally ran into cheaters where the guy was just jumping and was staying in the air, and
It's floating over
Yeah.
everybody. Dude.
yeah. The most demoralizing part of that game is that some of the coolest mechanics were locked behind crowns, which means you had to get wins. And you couldn't buy crowns. You can buy the other like random currency that gave you meh kind of skins. But like the
Wait, you said the mechanics were locked behind crowns, or the skins were behind?
No, I said sorry, I may have said mechanics. I said some of the cosmetics. I meant to say.
cosmetics.
Gotcha. There it is.
Some of like
There
the
you
I was waiting. I
some-
was waiting to see till you finish.
some
I
of
was like,
the nicest cosmetics in the game were locked behind crowns. So you had to have, and it was expensive, like sick amount of crowns. Like you needed
Yeah.
10 crowns for the top and 10 crowns for the bottom. So you needed 20
So
wins,
only Lupo and cheaters got it.
pretty much, which is why it drove to cheating. So, like I really wanted that bullet skin. like so bad. And I like played a lot that week to try and get the bullet skin, and I could only ever come up with 10 crowns, and that was like my complete like collect like all the crowns I had earned lifetime. And if you wanted to buy with like, I understand skins and making them desirable. I was like, shit, man, let me buy crowns. Like, fuck it, I will pay money for a crown. Like, I want that skin that bad. And it was every time I was in a game and I got into a fucking team mini game, I knew I had a 30% chance that my run was ended there, and it was beside my control. It was like,
You step into a team game, it's luck, and that's
dude, it's like, oh, are
dude.
everybody else in my team absolute morons? And the worst part is that there's no skill-based matchmaking, so then I feel bad because I'm like, well, Nolan is one of those guys that is playing and like has absolutely no idea what to do in the team games.
Go punch one of the kids.
Like, no, dude, like I've watched him play, and then he like, okay, so there's some that he's okay at, like the one where you have to roll the ball down the hill and you have to stop your opponents from doing it. Yeah. He was good at that one. The soccer one, he was okay at it because he's like, well, I'll just play goalie. Which
I was not doing.
Which I wish more people would be like, I'm gonna play goalie. No, everybody's like, nah, dude, I'm fucking Ronaldo. I score the goals.
I'm CR7, baby. I'm CR69. Watch me.
You see this? I am the captain. Like, so it's true, dude. It's like, dude, can one of you guys play or the X snatch? Holy crap, dude! That was the most infuriating one.
So bad. Yeah.
Or any of the tail games.
Through rings. Fuck.
Yes.
Tails. Oh my god, Tails.
Tails
And the fucking lag.
Yes.
Where you're hella far from someone, all of a sudden they gank your tail, and
Yes.
you're like,
fuck. Yes, dude. Yes. The
Yeah.
Tails, in the Tails, the multiplayer, the team, and the Tails individual were both ass.
Yep.
That's why it was a fringe. But the game was so different and so unique that I feel like it definitely is a mention, as it could be a top contender, but there was enough flaws in it to make it not a top contender, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's fucking true.
I think it's
else
Aaron.
wanna go next?
Aaron, you're next.
Go ahead.
You look itching.
All right,
It's just
Eric.
fucking Cyberpunk, dog. It's just that. But we can get back to it.
Fringe.
It's just that. Just go, Aaron. You're next. You just
Demon Souls.
you know what's coming up.
Oh, Demon Souls. Nice.
The only reason this isn't a top 3 is because I'd already played it. But the remake was perfectly done. And it's a great Souls game. Love it.
It's on the list, dude. It's on the list.
Yeah. But it's I had already played it. So I have a hard time putting remakes on my top, but it's definitely up there. Like, I have it as number 5 if I had to rank
Question.
them, which
So
I did.
one of the biggest issues that people have with it is that they feel like it's easier than the original. Would you agree?
Well,
with that?
it's easier because you can actually play at a proper frames. Demon Souls did not run for crap on the PS3. So you would be in the middle of something, and all of a sudden you lag out and die. It was not clean or crisp at all. So yeah, it's a lot easier because you can actually play it. It's easier to see things, it's easier to dodge and know what's coming. So yeah, I agree it's easier, but it's also more fun.
Like, that was one of Hassan's biggest gripes with it, was that he's
I'll
like,
be right back, fellas.
it was easy, and he like literally said it that way. It's hey,
let's talk about rose-colored glasses here. This is the 5th Dark Souls game at this point, so people have played the crap out of them. And it also, if you play a mage, it was broken for a royalty. You come in and Magic made the game a lot easier in that game than in any other Dark Souls games. So if you chose mage, then it's easy for most of it. So, because Bluepoint decided to not make any changes, so they remade the game, and it was easier than the original, and I was okay with that.
They remade the game, but didn't touch the formula. So that's one of the things that bothers me when they do remakes. And I'm gonna sit here and pick on a game which is good but is not great. So the Crash Bandicoot remake, which you can get as part of the PS Plus collection, I actually purchased that because I used to love the Crash Bandicoots on the PlayStation 1. And the remake is amazing. It is really good, but they made a like what would be considered an insignificant change, but changes the core mechanics of the game so much so that it feels like all three games are different games. So, Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation 1, the character was a square. And the animations that you did was a square. So it was kind of like the Mario effect. So you, as long as one of your pixels was in the...
Your feet could be off the edge, but you're still on.
Exactly. Because the model itself is actually a square. Well, on the remake, they made it a pill. So it is actually an oval. So a lot of the puzzles that you would be able to, like, that you would have cleared in the originals, now you have this issue where you fall down because it's a circle. It's like a pill. It literally looks like a pill. And in that game, there's a lot of platforms that are like this. So if you jump and your character slowly starts sliding down. And it changed the mechanics of a lot of the levels. And it made some of the bridge levels infuriatingly difficult because you have I don't know if you guys did you guys play the original Crash Bandicoot?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so all right, so there's levels where you're basically looking at Crash and
you're running towards the screen.
You run towards the screen, and there's bridges, and the bridges have like false planks, so you have to jump on the plank and then jump right away, or else, well, the planks are also like this. So when you jump on a plank, you could, and your pill is like this, your guy can just slowly slide down, and when you're just trying to like time the jump, because one of the mechanics in Crash that they added again on the new one that wasn't there on the original one is however long you hold the jump button affects how far Crash jumps now. So if you have a sustained hold, he jumps longer than if you do like a quick press where he just does a kind of like a smaller
little hop. Interesting. Going back to Demon Souls real quick, just because Aaron, that was his thing, and right when you switched it, I'm so pissed that that's not coming to PC. Because originally the first marketing stuff said that it was.
Yep.
And I was so hyped because that game looks so sexy. I was like, that is perfect. Like dark fantasy stuff. I cannot wait to see it.
Why the 17
I don't have
heart?
a PS5 yet.
Did they ever say why they changed their mind
It
on
was
that?
an error.
It was a marketing error. Oh, that's right. We did talk about this. Where they said they changed. They're like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah. So, like, when I get a PS5 this next year, I'll end up playing it. But man, that game looks so freaking good. I cannot wait to play that thing.
It is legitimately a console seller, though. Like, a lot of people are buying PS5s for that game. And like we were saying earlier, Bugsnax and Astro's Playrooms coming in free as part of the PS5 is also clutch AF, dude.
Yeah.
Anybody who's next on the fringe? Oh yeah, we are talking Cyberpunk. Let's go, Eric. Tell us why this is on the fringe. Other than it's not complete. It's not complete. It's not complete.
Really? Before we go into fringe on that one, can I just say that I have Cyberpunk listed as part of the best and worst game of the year.
That would define a fringe.
Exactly.
It sits right in the middle. It sits right in the middle, right?
I disagree. So fringe would be like, I really liked it, but doesn't meet the criteria to be the best or the worst. This is literally the best and the worst.
I agree to a certain level. Like we were just having this conversation earlier, Conan and I, where I said, you know what? As much as fucking like I want this game to be perfect, I still enjoyed the shit out of it. Like,
yeah.
I think that is a frustrating part for a lot of people, is that if it had been finished and polished, it's like a perfect 10.
Yeah.
But
it is not.
It is not. It is not. That's the hard part. Is that it's not, because it's like it has the potential, but it's just not there yet. It needs another 6 months to a year in the oven. Honestly,
It needs
Yeah,
years.
I feel like they hired BioWare to do the AI.
What AI?
There is no AI.
Have you played Anthem?
Nice. Well done.
There
Yep.
is no AI. That's the biggest issue. Is like
Yep.
we were just discussing this the other day. It's like the cars are pre-programmed, or as in developer terms, they're static values or hard coded. And as soon as you
Bullshit,
block the path, you create this giant, real world life example of a jam, a traffic
Yeah.
jam.
But yeah, that's what it is for me. It has the potential, and I mean, playing the game, you could tell that it can be something great, and it depends on how I'm looking at it. For me, the bugs are just too much and so fucking annoying for me. It's like, even in, I mean, I hate to go back to Destiny, but once again, that's our fucking baby.
Yeah.
You're playing PvP, you leave a guy on fucking 1 HP, and you can't kill him. To me, that's the most fucking frustrating thing. With Cyberpunk, I feel like I have 82 of those. Like, a fucking item is stuck under a car. I can't fucking reach it, but I'm right there. Let me fucking grab it. Or sometimes you get stuck in this mode, in that mode. Stealth sucks. But when it's good, it's good.
Did you guys get the
I don't
bug
Or
with the
when
bit-
you accidentally start like dialogue with somebody while you're crouched and you're just like,
Exactly, dude. Exactly. And then you try to fucking
and
try
you're
to
like,
crouch
okay.
up.
And you're trying to crouch and you're like, come on, I need to be eye level with you while you're talking. You're just like, fuck it, I'm just here.
No, dude,
Exactly.
did you-
And on console, if you're crouched already, you just fast forward the conversation.
It's
trying
the
to
same thing
uncrouch.
on PC, dude.
Yeah.
You have to hit,
Did
C.
did you guys get the Delamain bug on the Delamain where all the car at the end, all the cars are backwards and on fire?
What the fuck, dude?
So there's this.
I had the one where they were all driving into each other.
No,
and
that's
just
part of the
snapping.
mission. That's part of the mission because
Okay.
the AI is
Yeah.
all fucked up, right? So you finish that side quest and you're supposed to get the car as a reward, and drive off with the car. Well, I couldn't do that because somehow the car had flipped upside down and exploded. and I couldn't progress the story. Like, I couldn't progress the storyline because the guy's like, yeah, drive off with the car, and I'm like, I would if I could. Like,
Exactly, dude.
it is
Shit
on
like that.
fire, dude. So then, like, I had to go back, restart that whole part of the side quest and finish it, right? But then, like, a few days later, they released a 105, and one of the patch notes is like, we fixed a bug where sometimes Delamain's car flips over and explodes, and I'm like, fuck.
So I got a question early on in the game. So this isn't too much of a spoiler. After you do that main part, and then like
What main part?
I remember the part where your buddy dies.
Oh, okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
And so then you
Oh, no,
get in
he
your
dies?
car. You get in your car, and Delamain comes and like just fucks it up.
Yeah.
So now you don't have a car, and that's when the game kind of opens up, and you have no car now. And the next mission for that is to go to Delamain to talk about fixing your car.
Uh-huh.
But it says it's a very risky or whatever it is.
Oh, high
quest.
risk. Yeah, so...
High risk. It's like, what the crap? Now you're stuck without a car.
Keep
So
robbing
yeah,
people,
so
that's what I do.
so what happens is Delamain blows up your car, and then that is a string of side quests that is very long. So basically, what you have to do is you have to do little side quests or main quests around that area until you have enough money so you can buy your beat up junker Pinto.
Right.
It looks like a Pinto. That's the very first car I bought. It was like this junker. Oh,
Yeah.
or you
And
could
they're not
just,
cheap.
or you could steal people's cars.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
literally what I did.
Yeah.
And then I just saved up and I bought one of the cars.
Okay. But it just seemed like a really bad idea.
Entryway.
Well, no, the
Yeah.
reason that they got rid of your car right at the beginning is they didn't want you exploring the whole map right away.
That
and
makes sense.
and they limit you to that one initial like borough or whatever part of the city is at by getting rid of your car. Because at that point, like I tried to do a new start and like I didn't realize how much cars and my double jump affected my mobility.
How do you get double jump?
You have to buy the implant, but once you get double jump, you never want to go back to not having double jump. It
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Double jump is legit. Yeah. Cyberpunk is definitely fringe for me. Like I considered like putting it on my list if we got that far, and then I was like, But I can't rightfully say that at the same time. Like, as much as I loved that game and loved the story to it, like, there is so much wrong with it right now.
Be right back.
Oh, yeah.
No, you lost somehow. What the?
No, I see you.
Oh no, yeah,
We're
we
good.
lost Aaron. Aaron has now just become the yellow naked hobo.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go.
Let's go.
But yeah, Cyberpunk, there's just so much
Potential.
that it still needs to be improved. As fun a time as I had, I put 60 hours into it, and, like, grinded through that story, fell in love with that story. But upon playing some other games recently, I'm like, holy shit, that was a buggy fucking mess.
You get
Well,
used to trash, dog.
hold on.
You get
I
used to
have
it.
experienced some game-breaking bugs in Valhalla too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Comparatively, though,
The number is
night and
lower.
day.
Yeah.
You know what also
Yeah.
gets me with that is because when you play Assassin's Creed, you're gonna expect some bugs. It's like that literally comes along with every fucking Assassin's Creed game.
Every open world game, it's
Exactly.
just part of the
CD
deal. Yeah.
PR is such a fucking high tier. I mean, to me, highest tier studio. Something. I mean, they've literally have done this before, so that's why I was like, shouldn't be. I'm expecting a bug or two, but when there's fucking 38, then I'm like, all right, what the fuck?
I can't.
Give me something.
Another thing is that they're such a well-known studio to support their products for so much longer after they've been released that I'm waiting for them to just keep fixing it. You know, like, they're gonna keep supporting it, they're gonna keep fixing it, and then they're gonna make it good. We'll come back in about a year, and you'll see that this game is gonna be absolutely good. I hope.
Yeah. And I'll wait for that moment.
The problem is, I mean, it could also be like a Destiny type thing, where the launch was so shit, it's gonna turn away players, and then when they say, "Oh, it's good again," in 1 year, people just aren't gonna come back. I mean, No Man's Sky, it had so much fucking hype around it, people fucking hated it, and it just won an award for best
2 years in
ongoing
a
game.
row.
Yeah.
2 years in
Exactly.
a row.
Well,
But
dude, No Man's
because
Sky
of those
now,
people that
yeah.
initially play it, it kind of ruins them.
No Man's
First
Sky
impressions
was
mean a lot.
hot ass garbage when it first came out.
Yep.
And then I played
And
when
I
they
still played the shit out of it.
when they released a new one, like the first giant patch. I went and I played it, and I was like, oh, where was this like a
is how
year
it's
ago?
supposed to
Like, because I tried playing it, like Conan and I got it, and I tried playing it, and I was like, nah, dude. But I had already passed the 2 hours, so I couldn't refund it.
Damn it.
I
I
mean,
really enjoyed that.
That's where fucking Cyberpunk stands with me. It's a good game. It's got potential to be one of the better games. It's just not for me. Whatever.
I
Or
like
any PlayStation player.
I would like to go next because the follow-up is clear for me and maybe Hobo too. My Fringe one is Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
yeah.
Because I played it, right after Cyberpunk, and like I was saying, like going from Cyberpunk where there is so much wrong with it to then playing Valhalla where you're going to get a reasonably predictable experience every single time you boot that thing up. Like, yes, there's going to be, weird little issues. It's a gigantic open world. There's going to be small little things here and there. But compared to Cyberpunk, it was like, oh my god, this thing is like immaculate. Like this is
beautiful.
Yeah, this is the experience I was hoping I was going to get out of Cyberpunk. Where it's, like, yeah, I'll get some stuff here and there, whatever, that's fine. It's not immersion breaking. It's not going to ruin my experience of playing the game. And having played now, I think I just hit the 50-hour mark in Valhalla. Man, I am fucking digging it. Like it's a slow starter for sure. Hobo and I have been talking about that a little bit. It's got a little bit of a slow start, but once you start getting into the flow of the game, and like, I don't know, you find a rhythm within those games. It's the same way with all the Assassin's Creeds, and it's the Ubisoft formula. It's like, hey, yeah, I've got this quest where, the main story quest is, where I'm at. It's, 2,000 meters away or whatever the hell it is. And you're like, okay, let me hit up all these dots in between, let me do, find some gold. Let me find some, some little side quest thing or whatever. And you're just bouncing around. It's like, oh, I finally got to my destination. Here's the next story bit. Cool. That's fun. Yeah, man, just the rhythm of that game is really good, and then the stories it progressed in a really interesting way so far for me. I know I'm a little bit further along, but yeah, like you're able to visit Asgard and Jotunheim and like have these really cool experiences where you're like in these Norse mythological realms, which I found really cool in the DLC for Odyssey, where I got to go to Hell and Elysium and things like that. So yeah, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a pretty spectacular open world game. It's not as jaw-droppingly beautiful as Odyssey. It's not as or Cyberpunk for that matter. But man, what it is super fucking solid. It is super solid.
I think what it has going for it is the combat system is really good. And I really like I don't shy away from fighting. Whereas even Odyssey or Origins, I would take more of like the assassin stealthy approach. On this one, I was even with you earlier, where it's like, yeah, you should avoid the front door. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going through the front door.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like,
totally. Yeah, I've gone full Rambo in this game.
It's like it was exactly like, dude. It's like I run in through the front door. I'm like, and like all my dudes come in, and it's like, and it's like full on war in there, and it's like, I don't know if it was like on my top 10 for the year, but it's. I mean, I haven't played it nearly as long as you. I think right now when I turned it off, I clocked in 27 hours. Mm-hmm. It is a lot of fun though. At first, I wasn't too gripped by it because it's definitely like it actually picks up around the 20-hour mark.
Wow, it takes 20 hours.
Yeah, it's super, like the storyline doesn't really start developing until you get to Europe and you start actually making alliances in Europe.
See, that's the funny thing is like I didn't really do anything in Norway.
Me neither. Yeah.
I got to Britain really fast. That's what you mean, right? Is when you get to Britain, things pick up.
Europe, yeah.
Yeah, I did the first opening quest in Norway, and they're like, "Oh, you can go to Britain now." I was like, "All right, I'm going to Britain," and then I haven't been back to Norway at all, and so I have all of Norway to do still, and so I've just mainlined Britain, which has been crazy. So maybe I hit some of those spots a little earlier. Maybe it wasn't 20 hours for me, but there's definitely a little bit of an intro.
The whole Norway piece is supposed to be like the intro to the core battle, the travel, your crow, the different dots on the map.
Yep, skipped it.
Yeah, see, so I did all that, and then now that I'm in Europe, I'm going just straight mainline to the story mode. There's a couple issues I have with it, like the traversal through the map feels a little slow and clunky. I wish there was more the little whatever you focus on, those little eagle points. The boat travel again is not fully utilized because there's rivers everywhere that connect the different parts of the map.
It's not oceanic like some of the last ones.
Yeah, so I found that the boat travel feels so clunky that I found that I'm I'm going to teach my horse how to swim, and I just ride my horse everywhere. Because my horse will swim through the little, so I'm you'll just see my horse Like,
Fuck
Yeah.
Do that again. What was that?
no, I already did it. You missed it. So
Watch the VOD.
yeah. But that being said,
Turn
like,
that into an animated GIF.
the game itself was really good. Has been really good. I have to finish it. Some of the quests are very unique. Like I told you about, like igniting the two lovers' passion.
Oh my god.
Have you done that one yet?
No, but you saying the little funny missions.
Yeah.
I have one that is hilarious. I want to share with you guys. So I go up to this like ruined church or something. It's like just ruins, and there is this guy talking to a bishop, and the guy, I walk up to him and he's like got a shirt and like no shirt. He's got like like a kilted type dress armor pants, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know what they are. And then he's got like a like neck like wrap armor piece or something. He looks really weird. But then he has this like halo, not a full complete halo, but like just the side halo kind of haircut thing, and it's all like standing up like this, right? So it's not the full all the way around. Didn't have the front, right?
Was it
So
by
it's all,
any
like,
chance
right
was it colored green?
It was not green.
That's an insider joke right there.
I just got that.
Damn it. So,
I derailed you. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so the guy starts talking and he's like, yeah, this fucking bishop, he won't let us play our music. We're prodigies of our age. We are, we play music that, it's challenging to people, but people like it and stuff like that. And so the bishop comes over and the bishop is like arguing with him. And then I'm like, yo, dude, just like let them play their music. And finally, what ends up happening is you end up in this fist fight with the bishop to play their music.
And did you
so
win?
You end up fist fighting this bishop. And then on the sidelines, these guys are chanting, "Smack my bishop." Like, smack my bitch up.
That's
and
awesome.
It was a total Prodigy reference from the fucking 90s. And I loved every second of it. I was laughing so fucking hard. I was like, what is this game? This is so silly, dude. Like,
no, dude.
Why this? Here, this is so funny.
Did you get drunk at the wedding?
I think I did.
Okay, so there's this one part in the main quest where you get drunk in a wedding and you have to do like mini games. So there was this one mini game where you have to shoot the barrels. Then there's another one where you have to out-chug a person, and then once you out-chug that person, he basically professes his love for you. I have a female character. I don't know if the same happens.
I was a dude, and I was like, "Whoa, dude, no, I'm good."
With the female character, you get a line where it's like, just be like blunt about it. And then she's like, quit fucking around. Do you just want to fuck me? And then like, and then the guy's like, well, yeah. And then you get to choose whether you wanna allow it or not. So then I was like, shit, I want to see if this takes it to the cyberpunk levels. Let's go. And then I hit yes, and no, it does not take it to the cyberpunk levels. It's like super, like they go to the side and then they come back. And then she's like, that's it? That was no longsword. It was more like a dagger. Like,
what a fucking... Wow. Nice.
And someone's asking about the green hair. Spiky green hair. We have somebody in our clan that for Christmas painted their hair spiky green.
Yeah. Definitely looked like the Prodigy guy, yeah.
And what's it called? Then to add insult to injury to insult, or insult to injury, I guess. There's this one piece where they, after you have a dialogue, after she basically tells a guy that he's got a small penis, you can actually say his brother's name. or his name. You go, oh, okay, yeah, it was, yeah, I'll see you around. Broider, or what was the other guy's name? I think.
Yeah,
Bryther and Broider.
Broder or something like that.
So
Yeah.
it's basically brother, and Broider or Bryther. So like the difference is an O and an I. And if you call him by I did a save point and I'm like, I wonder what's gonna happen if I do call him by the wrong name. So you call him by the wrong name and he gets super insulted. He's like, oh my god, you thought I was my brother all along, blah blah blah. So you wouldn't have done this if I wasn't my brother? And like he's like, I'm gonna go settle this right now, and he storms off and he wants to fist fight his brothers over your
That's fucking sick.
So it's like those little things that are actually pretty funny and have given this game quite a bit of character, in my opinion. That I hadn't seen in any of the Assassin's Creeds. Maybe I just played through the storyline too quickly, but I didn't see this kind of like silly quest in Origins.
There was some, not as silly in Odyssey, but there was definitely some like humor in Odyssey. Not as much as this, though. I think the Vikings being drunk and stuff lends itself a little bit more to some of that stuff too.
But we're kind of running out of time, so let's go and do our worst game of the year.
I actually want to bring up one more real quick,
Okay,
though, just because I haven't beaten it, I'm nowhere near, but I really got to say that Immortals: Phoenix Rising is really good.
Yeah, it's on the list for me too.
And just so you're aware, this game is what Breath of the Wild should have been.
Let's go. We got people in the chat that are Breath of the Wild lovers. Let's go.
And I hated Breath of the Wild, and I love this game, even though it's a little campy when it comes to the comedy, because it's an entire joke almost. The game, they got rid of weapon degradation. Their stamina system is far better than Breath of the Wild. Their crafting system is better than Breath of the Wild. It's just a much better game. So anyway, I'm only 20% of the way through it, so I may change my mind later, but so far it's just been really, really good.
We have several people in the clan that have purchased this game, other than you, and they have given a definitely positive feedback back on this game. It is on the list. I will probably play it before the end of January, since I have another month of Uplay Plus. So I will definitely give it a shot. It looks really interesting.
Turns out I am a sissy pussy, according to the Madden world. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. So let's not get into Breath of the Wild nitpicking, because I could talk about what went wrong with that game for a while. I haven't played Immortals, but it is on the list. Let's move forward to worst. I don't know if like the worst game or biggest letdown, or what you just didn't, the game you disliked the most this year, I guess, is the categories.
Yeah, disappointment, I guess, covers
disappointments. Yeah. So go ahead and kick it off, Aaron. I know you have quite the list.
Well, I'm going to skip over Phasmophobia and Fall Guys real quick, and I'm going to move on to a game that I played, like, I think maybe for 20 minutes and hated it so much I never picked it up again. I'm pretty sure this game, the servers have already been turned down. I don't know what they were thinking with this game. It was awful in pretty much every way. It's called Disintegration. And basically, it was the idea of you're in this hovercraft directing people on the ground while also shooting at other hovercrafts. And none of it made any sense at all. Why you're directing these people in a hovercraft that's weak. It was just an awful game. And there was PvP. It was just bad in every way. And I wanted to like it because the premise sounded interesting.
And it's former Bungie devs.
Yeah.
Also that.
Yeah, the bunch of Bungie devs were like trying to hype it up, because they're buddies. I get it.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, I want to support my friends and stuff. But yeah, that game looked like a hot fucking mess. I was like, wow, that looks not interesting at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, ended up turning out to be that.
That was bad.
Yeah. Man, I have to think most disappointing.
That's kind of. I'm honestly on the same with you. I mean, most of the games I got, I don't know. Me and the clan, I kind of like to let you guys play maybe the first 10 or so hours.
Yeah, and then you work
Because-
for experience.
Dude, because I can't fucking say how many games I bought, and I ended up fucking feeling the exact same fucking way as you guys. Like, what was that one fucking game that actually didn't turn out too bad? It was
What is the
dude.
gameplay?
Oh my god, it was like a Ghost Recon type fucking. It wasn't Ghost Recon. It was
Division?
Division 2?
Division 2. Bam, there we fucking go. Started off
Main
just
story
shit.
was good.
And I was gonna get it, but then it was like, okay, yeah, after you got that, but there's just no end game. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, then is it worth? So that's typically where I'm at with bad games. I didn't really play any bad games this year, dude.
I got
I
one.
can tell you the one I did
Which one you're gonna say?
playing the
one?
most, but that was Phasmo. But it's on my top fucking 3. So
Mine is like a combination of disappointment, actually a bad game, and like overhype. Marvel's The Avengers.
damn,
yeah, what the-
Yeah, that's
that's
where
set
I
up
was
and
gonna
what-
that's
go.
another one. That's another
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
I was gonna get
That's
it.
on my
Looks
list
lit.
too.
The worst part with it is that it could have been a good game.
It looks
Still
pretty.
can be, hopefully.
Looks pretty.
Apparently, that with the new season pass and Kate Bishop, they've addressed a lot of the hate and negativity on it. But still,
Nope.
how are you going to fix
They
the lack
haven't.
of content? Like,
That's the
Yeah.
problem. They don't have any content. What I loved about the game was the cycle of gameplay. Each of the characters was fun, although I'll freely admit some were more fun than others. But after doing the 5th hive that looked the exact same in a row, because that's the only thing you could do, and then it was the biggest letdown because one, their campaign was too short. You finish your campaign at like level 10 and you have to get to level 40 or whatever it was. Oh my god, so many
50,
mistakes
I think.
left and right.
Yeah,
So-
the end game was lacking and rough for sure. I played it a lot still. I played like, what did I play? 73 hours, and I'm still gonna say it was a letdown.
yeah, I played. I put
It has so much potential. The actual characters, and their move sets and actual combat is really fucking good. It's just everything else around it is not there. Like, they need more diverse worlds. They need more diverse enemies. They need better mechanics in their levels. They need to decrease all of the like extraneous bullshit. Like, this is a sabotage mission. This is a zone defense mission. This is a da-da-da. There's like a million different kinds of missions, which breaks up your player base into all these little tiny little missions and stuff. You end up grinding the first, like 2 or 3 most efficient levels to get your gear and gear up.
Yep.
So you end up not playing most of that stuff anyway. So, like, honestly, if this game went in I'm going to say it, Destiny-like direction, this game would actually be really fucking good. But right now, they have too much bullshit going on.
Well, my biggest issue is that every mission looked and felt the same because they were all in the city urban environment. You always fought the same robots and or security guards with different colored armor. Where the game truly shined was the difference in the feel between the different heroes. So the way you played Hulk was completely different than the way you would play Captain America or Thor. Yep. Or Iron Man, or even Black Widow, or even Miss Marvel. That's where the game truly shined. Was the story mode actually was amazing. I had a great time going through that progression of seeing Miss Marvel from like this innocent geeky girl that liked comic books to all the way to fully accepting that she's a hero and she's got superpowers and now she is a member of the Avengers. So that I wish the rest of the game and the end game was of the same quality as the storyline, because the storyline was so good. The game was so promising that again I bought it twice. I bought it on the computer and then I bought it on the console for Nolan. And he finished the storyline and he's like, "All right, Dad, I'm gonna go level up the rest of my characters." 2 hours later, I'm done yet.
Yeah. So Well, I really,
And
really love the campaign. The fact that you didn't even make it halfway through a single character in the campaign to end it was ridiculous. Secondly, not a single one of their levels had any tie-in to Marvel in any way whatsoever. Like you said, it's just random urban city. It's random jungle. They have so many set pieces they could have used that would have been awesome, and they didn't use any of them.
Yeah,
Whether
so
they can't take it from... Yeah.
that's why this was for me the worst game of the year, followed by the most disappointing game, the most overhyped game. It just like checked all the boxes. I was like, check.
Yep.
Um,
And it just continues the trend of these semi-MMO persistent worlds that cannot do it right. There hasn't been anything done properly since Destiny 2, maybe? And even they screwed it up. Destiny 1?
So, as much as we like to bag on Destiny, they are still the gold standard when it comes to these like action MMO persistent.
That is a damn shame.
But did you notice that nobody put them on their Game of the Year list?
I was going to, but I didn't want to be biased.
I was gonna say it was definitely gonna be on my list. I just didn't want to be a big old homer.
I was also maybe. I was also probably going to put it on my
it's kind of like
on the same page.
It's kind of like
that's kind of a given.
Yeah, it's kind of that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of a given. Like if you look at the amount of hours we've played that game, it is quite up there. So that's why I'm like, well, I mean, it's kind of a given. It's on my top 3, but also to be fair, Beyond Light, I don't know if we can call it a brand new game, more than an expansion.
Yeah.
But we can go ahead and pull up games from last year. No, I'm just kidding.
So no, but I think unanimously though
We
here
make
we
the
all
rules,
agree
man.
we all agree that Avengers is possibly the biggest letdown, disappointment, and worst game of the year.
I mean, I didn't play it, but from a viewer standpoint, it definitely looks like that way. I mean,
I agree.
Worst part is
gameplay-wise,
like
you're
I feel
oh,
like
shit, it looks like it could be good.
dude. The worst part is I remember playing the beta and I was like, "Fuck, this game is gonna be great." and then like me and Conan were both like, "Yeah, we're getting it," and then we got it and we're like, "Oh fuck."
It was another fucking 60 down the drain.
After the story, man, it was like, okay. Wow.
I remember telling Conan, I'm like, dude, this is fucking great. I finished the storyline. I'm like, dude, this fucking sucks. I mean, I still have it with the promise that they're gonna fix it. I don't know if they can, honestly. At least not in this.
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can with this current year of content that they have planned out.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, real quick before we go, because I know we're at the end here.
Mhm.
I got 2 more things to say.
Your most anticipated game of the next year.
That was my next thing.
Yeah, most anticipated game of 2021.
I was gonna say
We'll
game of the year. Game of the year. Go ahead. Game of the year 2021. God of War Ragnarok.
If it doesn't get delayed. If it doesn't get delayed. If it doesn't get delayed.
If it doesn't get delayed, dude. Fucking God of War Ragnarok 2021. Game of the year. Let's get us fucking sweet. We stay in Santa
my
Monica
biggest
Studios
issue
here at
is
the
you
Just
guys,
Sex.
we gotta preface all this with if it doesn't get delayed. With the
It's
current
not-
way
it's-
COVID is going, development in video games, I'd rather them delay games at this point than release half-baked ones.
You're right. But another thing you got to look at is the title. It's God of War Ragnarok, not God of War Ragnarok 2077. So that's how you know that it's gonna come out.
Okay, so who's gonna go first with their most awaited?
I mean, I feel like I did.
Ratchet and
go
Clank.
ahead, Aaron.
And that was what I was going to say, too.
Fuck, dude.
And so, yeah, like God of War, the previous one was probably my favorite game of all time.
Yes, dude,
I think.
it's so good. So
it beat other
and,
God of Wars for me.
And yeah, I cannot wait for the next one. That is when that is coming out. That's probably when I will buy my PS5 if they're in stock. But yeah, I cannot fucking wait for God of War 2.
Yeah, that previous God of War, it's my game of 2018, 2019. I don't know, dude. It was so good. I played it twice, and I don't play games twice.
yeah, I was gonna say I
that good?
actually did all the side quests on that game, and I typically do not do all side quests in that game.
Exactly. It was that good. I'm fucking hyped as shit for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but now we got
Aaron, you look like you got something to say.
No.
So Ratchet and Clank is my favorite series of all time. I think the writing is ingenious. I think it's fun, funny, and I just have loved every single game they've ever made, including the not good ones. And I'm super excited to play another one. So that's the one I'm most excited for. God of War would be number 2, and the one I'm not anywhere near mostly hyped on, but kind of really hoping it breaks the cycle of shitty MMO style games coming out, the looter shooters, is Outriders. I really, really want that to be a good one.
Looks like it could be good.
Shit, guys,
Another
we
one
didn't even...
I'm hoping. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said another one I'm hoping could be good is Halo.
Yes,
Because,
yes, they
there,
took it back to
that's-
the drawing board.
I'm hoping it could be good because I fucking loved Halo, dude. I played 1, 2, and 3, just fucking grinding them out. Like, that was my Xbox game. God of War was my Sony game. Yeah, since I had both consoles I can switch on back at the time. But that I just fucking hope it's good, dude. Because that Xbox needs some shining light on it. And I really hope that
So
brings
I guess
some light to
that'll
it.
bring me. So I again God of War, but I mean that I think is going to be unanimous across all of us. I kind of want to highlight games that like not everybody might be looking forward to. I am really looking forward to Callisto Protocol.
Oh, that shit looks cool.
Yup.
That is a new like new like horror survival style game from
Space.
It's
it's
Same
from
as
the
Over.
developers of
Mhm.
like the now defunct studio that did the Dead Space series. So Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 were probably some of my favorite. Like, I mean, you guys know I like those like Resident Evil style horror games, and it was as close to you like a Resident Evil 4 style gameplay, but in space with fucking creatures, and you have a crazy psycho like Scientology style like religion attached to it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Callisto Protocol. It is now a new studio, but from the creators of Dead Space, and it is being published by PUBG Corp.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It's also supposedly part of the same world
it's
as PUBG,
part of the
which whatever,
yeah. It's like in the PUBG
whatever.
universe.
I guess. I mean, sure.
No, so like the premise behind this one is that it's in the PUBG universe. It takes place 100 years later, so it's like in the future, and you're like in this space colony where they keep criminals, and something has gone awry, and now you have to survive, which is kind of
And
cool.
I agree. If you can turn Halo into Tribes, that'll be a game of the year. Sorry, just had to read that from chat.
So
I love Tribes.
Hey, I'm going to add one more.
Hmm.
If it comes out this year, Elden Ring.
yes,
yeah, of course.
If
Duh.
it's not a bust, if it's not a bust.
Yeah, if it comes out this year.
Well, I mean, George R.R. Martin is writing it supposedly, so probably never.
Never, yeah.
Yeah, at this point, right? There's a I actually
Couple of
the
good
other
ones, dude.
the new Far Cry looks fucking
I was
sick,
about to
dude.
say with what's his face? Is that
With-
Miles Teller?
Giancarlo?
Yeah, Giancarlo, that Far Cry 6. So there's so many games that I'm like, oh man, they look so good. The new Hitman.
What do you guys think of the new Gotham game? What's it called?
Oh, the one with
Gotham
the
Knights.
no,
Yes.
there's Gotham Knights and there's also the Suicide Squad one that looked really gnarly.
Suicide Squad one. I'm actually more excited for that one than I am.
The further down the line.
But they're not next year. Yeah, I think they're not next year.
Oh,
They just
gotcha.
kind of
2020.
yeah,
maybe.
they kind of teased them. No, Far Cry is definitely next year. God of War is next year, dude. Or Hellblade 2. Like I'm actually thinking of some of these Xbox exclusives. Huh?
I still haven't played the first
Yeah,
one.
so like
Me either.
Hellblade 2, like the first Hellblade was really good.
never
Hellblade
played
2, then
Hitman 3.
Hitman 3,
And you guys
Resident
played
Evil
Hitman 1 and
Village,
2?
the new Resident Evil.
I don't have the
Resident Evil's
patience
awesome.
for stealth games. I can't do them. I'm just like,
Yeah.
fuck it, kill them all.
Or are you guys not stoked about the new Horizon?
Oh, of course I
That
am.
could also
Yeah.
be a
That's
banger.
also next year.
But that may not come out this year either, for all we know.
Again, it could be delayed. Horizon.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a new Mass Effect.
Nobody
New
cares.
Super Mario. Whoop, whoop.
Mario's awesome.
Yeah, dude, Mario's fucking fun.
I'm actually more excited about the Mass Effect trilogy being remastered than I am about them making new games. Because I don't trust BioWare to make a game anymore. But I
Why
think
would
they
you?
can remaster
Why would you
one okay.
remaster Mass Effect? Remaster Knights of the Old Republic while you still have the fucking Star Wars license.
yeah.
Please.
Fuck, dude.
Please.
Like
Yes.
remaster Knights of the Old Republic. Like fuck Mass Effect right now. You have the Star Wars license. Please.
So here's what I want to bring that up though. Do you think if they remastered KOTOR, they'd leave the same gameplay system in, or do you think they'd make it action and ruin it? I think they would ruin it.
It's possible.
It's possible.
But they did
never
the same
mind.
thing.
Dude, like, have
They
you guys
did
seen-
that with Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah.
And look
And
at
they
how
were-
good that turned out.
To be honest,
Which
boys, I
city
do
you
want
guys
to.
mentioned, by the way.
I do want to end up playing that. I've been actually.
I played it, and I do not like the combat in it. Everything
Oh,
else
shit.
I love, but I
That's
don't
what
like
a
the
lot of
combat.
people were saying they really enjoyed.
So
was
here's the
that.
problem with that game is that you're in a group of 3, and the 2 people you're not controlling are fucking stupid. They can do literally nothing. So you have to constantly change between characters if you want them to do anything. And I don't want to. I don't like that personally. I'm
That's
sure other
fair.
people like it, but
What I mean, I would be okay with them remaking it as long as it's like a true to original, kind of like Demon Souls, right? It's like remake it, but like don't fucking touch the core. I don't know.
There's also that Harry Potter game. If you guys
that looks cool as hell.
That looks really cool.
I might play it just because it looks kind of lit.
There's
And it happened like 100 years before all that, so you don't have to care about.
Yeah, I hope
You
that
won't
they
be named.
like I hope that there's not very much impacts due to the pandemic continuing and the lack of vaccination that'll happen. But that being said, experiencing what I experienced this year, I'm okay with them delaying games if it doesn't meet the quality.
Please delay games.
Yeah.
Please, no, less crunch, delay your game. I understand that there's money involved, but holy crap.
Please.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
That being said, guys, this is
Quality
the
over
end
quantity,
of
baby.
our
Final podcast of 2020.
I'll see you guys next year.
We'll see you guys in a few days in 2021. Hopefully, 2021 isn't 2020 has powered up by 1.
Not really.
Level up.
Yeah, it's like level up. Yeah, it's like 2021. Like, so I hope you guys have a great New Year's festivities with your family, social distancing.
Well,
Drink at home, please.
That's easy. I'm good at that.
Yeah, exactly. And with that being said, we'll see you guys. Anybody here, if you haven't hit a follow, please hit a follow or subscribe in our YouTube channel. This will be going onto YouTube. Again, this is Naked Hobo.
King Conan.
Aaron. Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
me?
That's
The names
yeah,
are right.
you're
Right
you're
here.
down. You're
Names are
down.
right
You're
here.
down.
Oh, and
I'm Mr.
Narcissus is
McCarran.
over here, but
Yeah,
Very
I'm
pretty
Naked Gorilla. Thanks for watching, guys.
and thank you to all our followers and our green-haired guy. We'll
It's been
see
a
you
good
guys.
year. It's been a fun year.
It's been a crap year, but that's okay.
Good year for podcasting.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.